Hello everyone, Kring here, and welcome to a demo version of Without Within 2. Now this is the sequel from the first Without Within by Invert Mouse, and holy shit, the BGM is loud. Let me just fix that a little, so you know it won't blare. Let's put the text speed quite fast because I like it that way. So without further ado, let us start Without Within 2 demo version, shall we? Yes, we shall. I stood in front of my bathroom mirror, staring at the result. Well, it was Photoshop, at least. Hey, when people kept going on and on about my eyes, I had to try something. Yes, ever since I became YouTube celebrity, I had been following the internet options about me. Man, latest comment. What's with those eyes? Why are her eyes closed? Do her eyes ever open? Spoilers. And so on. If people stopped saying things like that, I never would have become so conscious about it. I should have known the whiteboard markers would never do the trick though. I'm almost done with the permanent too. I noticed that the crack in the corner above my mirror. Yeah, it had been there for over a year now. But I still felt as though the wall had cracked after seeing my ridiculous face. Oh well, time to leave and clock in another restaurant shift. Still stuck in the opening chapter of my road to calligraphy stardom. Sometimes it felt as if a troll had glued my pages shut. I locked my door before heading out. Not that I had anything to steal, $2.50 for that ripped sofa if anyone was interested. Ha! What's with her face? Those eyes, lol! Time to clock another restaurant shift after I washed off these darn markings. Oh, a new shampoo ad we are featuring in Excelia. How I wish I could have hair as silky smooth as hers. No need to pretend you never heard of her. Even my grandma knew of Excelia, the prodigy calligrapher. I heard that in a recent calligraphy contest, Excelia's work moved one of the judges to tears. What does it mean? Oh, what does it mean? The judge murmured as she sobbed. Rumors said she needed therapy afterward. Just by showing her face on that ad, Excelia had probably drank in more cash than I made in a year. Excelia seemed so unreachable that sometimes I wondered if she really existed. Well, I would find out myself soon enough. A few months ago, I have received a grant to attend Excelia's upcoming show in Melbourne, Australia. About time my luck turned around too. Without the grant, I never could have afforded those plane tickets. Yes, out of college and never been on a flight before. Leave me alone. First, let me go and get this final restaurant shift out of the way. I wished I could spin the hands of the clock and make time go faster. Watch out, world. Excelia will soon meet her match. Okay. Nice picture. No more checking my calendar 4 times a day. For the moment I had finally arrived. That had. Today I will be traveling overseas for the first time. Were you expecting some gag where I woke up late and missed my plane? Sorry to disappoint, but I hardly even slept last night. Maybe I could catch up on sleep during my flight. I heard only a chosen few possess the gift of sleeping on a plane. I spent a day pacing around my living room and rolling into bed excitement. Pack? Did that 4 months ago? I did that 4 months ago when I received my grant. For a 2-day trip, all I needed was my backpack anyway. Heck, I already bought the express bus tickets that will take me to Melbourne airport into the city as well. I could hear the airport nice and early now, but that would make me look like a child waiting for the theme park to open. Come on, this was no holiday trip. I did this in the name of calligraphy. A lady like me had no reason to rush. After changing out my pajamas, I left the apartment and bumped into my landlady in the hallway. I pressed my shoulder against the wall to avoid being crushed by her body. Good morning, Miss Vinty, the landlady said. She lowered her glasses and stared at my backpack. Where might you be after? I'm heading to Australia for a couple of days. Australia? With her shocked tone, you would have thought I said I was flying to Mars. The landlady softened her voice as if trying to make a kid confess he had spilled the milk. Miss Vinty, we all love holidays, but you should never resort to crime. Why, poor people had no right to go on trips? Sure, I was 2 weeks late with my last rent, but still, give me a break. I need to go. With a twitchy smile on my face, I squeezed past the landlady and headed for the stairs. Jeez, she had better not call the cops on me or anything. Maybe I should have told her about that grant I got. And so I rocked up into the airport 8 before they take off. A timely arrival befitting of a calm lady, if you ask me. Let me just listen to this music for a bit. Alright, if someone offered me a job in this airport, I would gladly accept it. The staff wore uniforms fit for a banquet, and the aircon meant no more reeking sweat during summer shifts. Unlike that cramped restaurant I worked in, the hallways here were wide enough for a few thousand Vintys. Sunlight peered in through the glass panels to my left, making the ceiling lights obsolete. Maybe I should quit restaurant job and apply to become a flight attendant. Yes, I could imagine the passengers' reaction now. Look, Mommy, that girl is so pretty. Excuse me, madam. Vinty is your name, according to the pilot. A charming name outmatched only by your beauty. The smell of fried chicken snapped me from my trance. A man strolled toward me with a bucket of chicken wings in his hands. I recognized his face as well as the body odor. It was the guy who made fun of my calligraphy twice on the streets. Hey, you're the calligrapher girl who thinks she's hot stuff, the man said, spitting a piece of chicken onto my face. Good thing I've already landed from my flight, he continued. I have to catch the same plane as you. I'd rather swim. Wow. I wish he did swim and drown, get eaten by sharks. Just ignore him, Vinty. We already got this crazy calligrapher dubstep remix with original. The world had no need for part 2. The troll kept eating his chicken and as he walked off. Seriously, one day karma would make him choke on those bones. Just wait until I mastered all the secrets behind Excelia's success. This guy will crawl back and beg for a chance to kiss my cheeks. Not that I would let those greasy lips touch me. Saying this troll again did, however, remind me why I came here. I had devoted myself to the path of a calligrapher. That flight attendant career I dreamed about belonged in a different life. I shifted my attention to those planes stuck behind the windows. I have only seen them in flight. I had no idea they were this big up close. The insides of these planes must be bigger than my apartment. Hardly an impressive comparison, but still. I pinned my hands against the glass to get a closer view of the planes. Some of the people giggled as they walked by, making my cheeks warm up. To regular flyers, this might be nothing more than a bus ride, but for me, I might as well be boarding a spaceship. Once the crowd cleared, I pulled out my phone and snapped in a few photos. And now the time had come for me to ride one of these planes. My heart started to race from the anticipation. As I lined up for the boarding, I checked the displays over and over to make sure I was on the right flight. Landing in the wrong country would be too tragic even Vinty standards. I thought I could score a close-up view of the plane as I boarded, but the tunnel connected me directly inside. The disappointment made me pout a little. The flight attendant stood by the entrance with a smile like that. I almost thought she was applying for a beauty pageant. The passengers in front of me showed this lady their tickets before boarding. "Good morning, miss," the staff said when my turn came. I gave a nervous nod as I showed her my ticket. The lady beamed and pointed toward the left column of the seats. "Thank you for traveling with us." Let's see, row 32. Found it. The passengers around me stashed their suitcases onto those cabinets located above the seats. After slinging off my backpack, I reached for my cabinet handle, but they were out of my grasp. A staff came over and helped me pack away the bag. Some nearby kid chuckled at me as he climbed onto the seat to stow away his luggage. What a cheating brat. I smiled upon confirming that my chair was positioned next to the window. A must for newbie flyers, really. I haven't taken a airplane flight like ever, so I actually can relate to this girl. I took my seat and gazed out the window at a van delivering gourmet food for the neighboring planes. The glass panel was smaller than I had hoped, but it would have to do. I wiped my sleeve over the dirty glass, but it did nothing, so the dust must be stuck on the other side. A couple packed their suitcases into my cabinet before taking the two seats next to me. I swear I caught them sneering when I snapped a photo of the window view. Cool. It must be a flight policy to make fun of everyone who liked planes. Let me apologize if I had missed the memo. The passengers started to strap their seatbelts, so I followed suit. But my one refused to clip on. I stole a peek at the couple beside me as they put on their belts. Turned out you needed to flip this metal piece open first. Let me give mine a shot. There! Done! With a satisfying click, I was officially strapped and ready to take off. The flight attendant stood along at the aisle and took us throughout what we should do in the case of crash. I had to spoil the mood before we even took off, but they were being responsible, I supposed. Responsible, unlike couple beside me who had already fallen asleep. They must have heard these procedures hundreds of times. Still, I pitied the staff for being treated like a cassette tape. To be fair, once the plane began to move toward the runway, I found myself gazing out the window instead of listening. I smiled at the other planes as they landed from the skies. This must be how excited kids felt when they browsed toy catalogs. Cabin crew be seated for the takeoff. Seconds after that announcement, the plane engines began to roar. This engine has been humming since I boarded, but I had no idea they had been reserving strength this whole time. The plane jittered as it accelerated along the runway. That couple next to me remained asleep, so this shaking must be normal during takeoff. It only lasted for a moment anyway, as the wheels soon lifted off the ground into the air. I had always loved looking at the planes as they passed the sky. Today I got to admire the view from the other side. The cars looked so tiny, and soon after, even the trucks had shrunk into dots. Video, I wonder what this button does. I clicked it, but now it's loading, so I'm gonna watch this blank screen. Come on. Oh, okay, it's a YouTube video. No, thank you then. Alright. I tried to see if I recognized any of the landmarks, but up from here, these total rooftops looked all the same. Even if I passed my apartment, I would have no idea. A flight attendant gave us permission to remove our seatbelts. Many people did so before she even finished her sentence. No worries, miss. I knew all too well the feeling of being ignored. After unclipping my seatbelt, I stood up to head for the bathroom. I bumped knees with the woman beside me, and she frowned as I squirmed by. The window seat did have its bad points after all. As I shuffled toward the front of the plane, I passed several rows of seats with enough legroom to satisfy even my landlady. This must be the business class chairs, or first class, or whatever they are called. I doubt that I will ever get the experience such luxury. As I passed these first class seats, I spotted a girl kneeling on the floor, stretching her arm under a chair. Her pose reminded me of a homeless person reaching for a coin in a gutter. Certainly not something I had expected to see from upper class snob. But then I recognized who this person was. Aside from her tiny eyes, the girl on her knees looked exactly like Excelia. She had the same blue hair featured those shampoo ads. Her calligrapher attire seemed to belong in a different era. This had to be Excelia without a doubt. Our plane was headed for Melbourne, so it made sense. What was with the tiny eyes though? Maybe her eyes were actually photoshopped, those posters to look big. No need to be ashamed, Excelia, I understood the feeling all too well. Did Excelia drop her glasses under that chair? She always had a pair of those in commercials. I heard some men got off on that. Wow. A couple of Excelia's bodyguards crouched beside her and tried to reach under the chair as well. Too bad their bulky arms had no hope of reaching under the seat. A small stature like mine might have a chance though. As I approached Excelia, her guards rose and stepped forward to block my path. Relax, I only came here for the glasses. I ducked under the seat, and as I had guessed, Excelia's glasses sat on the far end. My whole body managed to fit under the chair, so I crawled and retrieved the spectacles with ease. Should I feel proud about that? Yeah, probably not. I climbed out and offered the glasses to Excelia. One of her guards snatched them from my hand instead. There you go, boss, the guard said, handing the glasses back to Excelia. What a suck-up. It was me who got them out of this mess. Oh well, I never expected anything in return anyway. Why I was here again? Alright, the bathroom. There, much better. The flush sounded so strong inside this toilet. If I shifted my head too close, the force might suck me right out of the plane. Wait, why would I put my face anywhere near the bowl to begin with? I better return to my seat and catch up some sleep. After washing my hands, I stepped out from the bathroom. Then I walked past Excelia. She waved at me to come and sit next to her. I felt unworthy of the honor, though to be honest, seeing her tiny eyes in real life did remind me that she too was only a humans. Maybe we were in fact on the same level after all. And then Excelia put on her glasses. Oh! So much for us being on the same level. Excelia could put a bag of peanuts on her seat and would be more worthy of the chair than I. As I took the seat next to Excelia, I could smell the scent of her perfume. It must be from that same brand she always endorsed with those ads of hers. I read in a magazine that Excelia was only a year older. How could I catch her in such short time? I would have better luck giving up and going after that flight attendant career instead. Sorry about the cards, Excelia said. Please give me a chance to thank you properly. Those words were meant for my ears? Oh god, Excelia just spoke to me. Her guards had taken seats on the adjacent side. I don't know. That meant I had a chance for some one-on-one time with Excelia. One-on-one time? No, not really. Those calligraphers will pay their whole lives and never have this opportunity. If I wanted to catch Excelia, I had better observe and mimic her every action. Once Excelia put her glasses back on, the air around her seemed to sparkle. If I had brought my sunnies, I would have put them on right about now. I wonder if Excelia knew how to turn those spectacles off. If not, how did she even sleep? Did she glitter while sitting on the loo as well? Okay, digging a bit too deep there. My name is Vinty, I stammered. Sir, I know you, Excelia said. I should have expected nothing less from someone who had traveled across the globe. She must have seen my works on the streets before, but to think she will actually remember. Perhaps I had some talent after all. Excelia chuckled without opening her lips. That laugh sounded like it belonged to a villain in some cheesy film. Really now? You're the girl from that dubstep video on the YouTube, Excelia said, her mouth hardly opening as she spoke. This must be one of her keys to be so elegant. Let me take some mental notes. At any rate, all hopes of Excelia respecting me just went flying out the window or flushed down in the toilet since we were on the plane. What would you like to eat? Excelia asked. It's on me. But be against the rules. My seat is actually near the back. I gripped my armrest to lift myself up and leave. Excelia grabbed my shoulder and pressed me back down. I'm a frequent flyer, so just leave it to me. With a wink, she handed me a menu from the pouch in front of her. I will try to return to my seat and avoid troubling the staff, but for now I opened the menu for a flip though. Pomodo e olive con ricotta salata, pancetta del rinascimento. I have no clue what these were. I only knew about 4 food cart meals. 2 for $5, sushi, rice with 3 choices, that kind of thing. Perhaps I should ask Excelia for a common full translation, but that would only highlight our differences in status. I ended up pointing a random dish from the menu. A flight attendant was pouring tea for her 8 passengers. As soon as Excelia snapped her fingers, the staff spilled his drink and scurried over us. The passenger with his pants drenched in tea yelled at the attendant, but his complaints went unnoticed. Excelia told the attendant what dishes she wanted from the menu. She pronounced those names as well as I could recite my favorite brands of instant noodles. Good thing she also ordered on my behalf to save me the embarrassment. I have already forgotten the name of my own dish. Is your friend sitting in the first class? The attendant asked, no doubt suggesting I would have to pay for this meal. I opened my wallet and remembered I only bought enough cash to survive 2 days in Melbourne. Not quite enough for a single first-class meal. If I sold my wallet plus helped these attendants wash dishes, that might almost be enough to cover the cost. Excelia clapped her hands and one of the cards leaped to her attention. He handed her a silver credit card, or were they called platinum? Those cards belong to a different world from mine. Hey, I had cards too, thank you very much. Just one more stamp until I scored a free water bottle from the coffee shop next door. The attendant bowed at Excelia as he accepted her card. Once he walked off, Excelia nodded at her card and returned to his seat. Is this really okay? I asked. I might never be able to pay you back. Excelia once again chuckled with pursed lips. Did she have a spinach in her teeth or something? No need to worry. It's just a pocket change, Excelia said. She probably had more money in her pocket than I did on my bank account. So, you're a great calligrapher as well? Excelia asked. Crazy calligrapher, I heard it. She wanted to call me crazy calligrapher. I cursed that YouTube video with my heart and soul. With a nod, I pulled out my phone and showed her a snap of my latest work. I was sick when I made this, but yeah. By sick, I meant I had sneezed once while I was working. Oh, Vinty, always with the excuses. My heart raced as the Excelia leaned toward the display. Her perfume could probably charm just about any man. It even got me pretty good, truth be told. It's off to a good start, Excelia muttered before pulling back with a smile. To be fair, I never expected she would be moved to tears or anything. I took that blurry photo with my 3-year-old phone after all. At least she had courtesy to hold back her punch, leaving me with only bloody nose rather than a broken one. I still had a bitter taste in my tongue though. Indeed, Excelia posted a more impressive portfolio, but the hype must have played a part as well. If I had the same marketing power, surely I will also be noticed. Speaking of hype, Excelia could catch a cold and the news would report in. This could be my opportunity to get a leg up, as the people like to say. It felt wrong to use Excelia as a stepladder, but this could only be my chance. Do you think you could share my works on Twitter or Reddit? I asked. I have already made it big on YouTube, so I guess those 2 sites will be next. Excelia narrowed her eyes at me. Oh no, now I have done it. She should ban me from her event making such a shameless request. If I apologize and return to my seat now, maybe I could still be spared from entering her blacklist. Just email me some photos, Excelia said as her smile returned. The last time I sent Excelia fan mail, she never replied, so I thought she had no time for peasants like me. Maybe she has just too much on, because in person, she was sweeter than a jar of honey. I thanked her over and over as I attached several photos of my works into an email on my phone. Note to self to hit that send button as soon as this plane landed. A chef marched upon us with a plate each hand. After presenting the plates of Excelia and me, he pulled the lids open. The smell of fries and potatoes wafted from my nostrils and made my mouth water. Good to know wealthy people ate chips too. For my meal, it looked like I had ordered a sausage that coiled around it to resemble a dog poo. Sorry, it was just the first thing that came into my mind. But really, they should have named this dish world's tiniest sausage. I will never understand why rich people paid so much for these tiny servings. As for Excelia, I thought she would have seafood or some other classy dish, but it turned out she had ordered a beef burger. I found that kind of cute, actually. Excelia picked a napkin from the plate and tied it around her neck. I was just about used to mine to blow my nose. Good thing I'm weighted. I looped the napkin around my neck just like Excelia did. Fake it till you make it, as people always said. I might have just taken my first step towards stardom. Excelia started to cut her burger with a knife and fork. If I cooked her a bowl of rice, would she cut them up grain by grain? Rich people simply refused to ever get their hands dirty. Determined to follow Excelia's footsteps, I picked up my utensils. The sausage kept bouncing off my knife like a cockroach darting past a pair of slippers. I picked Excelia and realized I held my knife and the fork wrong way around. After shifting the knife to my right hand, I managed to slice the sausage apart. As Excelia and I dined, a few people came to snap pictures of us. It sure felt nice to be recognized. Yes, I knew these people came for Excelia. Just let me drown in my fantasy for a while. A male fan walked a little too close with that camera, and one of Excelia's guards stood up to shoo him off. Excelia casually usually charged money for photos in conventions, so it made sense. When Excelia finished her meal, she tapped the napkin against her lips. I copied her right away, since this too could be a part of her winning formula. Thank you for treating me. I really hope I can shout you back someday, I said. Excelia waved her hands to indicate there was no need. Me shouting Excelia? Yeah, maybe some ice cream in a convenience store. By the way, would you mind taking a picture with me? I asked, hoping I might receive a better treatment than those fans from earlier. Excelia glared towards one of her guards, who waved a hand across his neck to indicate no. In the end, all Excelia could offer me was an apologetic smile. I considered reminding Excelia to put my work in social media, but I had already troubled her enough. So I got up in silence and returned my seat beside that sleeping couple. After getting a taste of first class, the chairs back here felt so cramped. If I forced some rich snobs to sit here, The shock might cause them to have seizures. I gazed out my window at the darkened sky. The sun must have gone to sleep during my time with the Excelia. I sighed, feeling disappointed that I had missed the sunset, but at least I still had the sunrise to catch tomorrow morning. With those blinking lights of the wing, I might have thought someone had painted the window black. Riding a plane did have its boring parts after all. I might well as try and sleep, but I wanted to savor every second I had on this plane. Unlike the couple next to me, I had no idea when I could get another chance to travel. Besides, I doubted I could sleep much in this small place anyway. Oh well, let me shut my eyes and try to sneak in a nap. I thought I had only taken a quick snooze, but when I opened my eyes, the glaring sunlight made me squint. Turned out I was one of the select few who could sleep on the plane. If I had known, I would have set my phone alarm so I could see the sunrise. Drifting through the clouds fascinated me at first, but now they amused me no more than night sky. At least riding a bus having a traffic to look at. But then I glanced down and spotted the landscape situated miles below, so we must be nearing our destination. We first passed the maze of treetops, and as we advanced, more and more buildings started to emerge. The traffic below also picked up in a number. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A flight attendant's voice sounded throughout the speakers. She spoke in a formal tone as if recording an audiobook. We are now arriving in Melbourne Airport, the lady continued. Please return to your seats and fasten your belts as we prepare for landing. The couple beside me already had their seatbelts on. Jeez, they could have nudged me awake. If I had stayed asleep, I doubt they would have bothered strapping me on. I quickly clipped on my seat belt as if worried our plane might land in the next second. The lady next to me yawned, showing zero interest in watching this plane land. Alas, I thought as I gazed out the window. I could hardly make out of the buses below up here, let alone the people. Perhaps that was how Excelia saw the rest of us no-name calligraphers. The planes landed back and forth as it descended toward the airport ahead. Anytime now, I thought, but 5 minutes passed and we still had yet to land. My eyes started to throb as if someone was gushing water into them. I had read online that chewing gum while landing could help with this type of discomfort. Yes, I always did research before embarking on an adventure. Too bad I had left my chewing gum back in the apartment, making it all kind of pointless. Cabin crew, prepare for landing, came the announcement. But either the speakers sounded muffled, or my right ear needed to get checked. At least it stilled worked better than my left ear. Still, not stilled, still. Which could no longer pick up a single sound. I hope both ears would be fine again once I landed. At last, the plane descended into a Melbourne terminal. I waited for the wheels, which I assume were lowered at this point, to make contact with the runway. As those wheels met the pavement underneath, I swallowed my gasp and managed to save myself from the embarrassment of freaking out. The plane did, however, weigh, gosh, I had no idea how much. So I should have accepted the landing would be pretty rough. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Melbourne Airport. I beamed upon hearing about that announcement. Well, only mine right here heard a muffled version of it, but it's all good. The staff spoke on throughout the speakers. The local time is 10:20 a.m. For your safety, please wait for the seatbelt signs to turn off before making your exit. The couple beside me had already unclipped their belts. The second our plane stopped, they rose to retrieve the luggages from the cabinet overhead. Perhaps they might be getting mine as well. The couple clicked their cabinet closed with my backpack left inside. They used their suitcases like bowling balls and knocked people aside as they headed for the exit. Never should have expected anything people like that. I wish I could have spent this whole flight with Excelia instead. When I untied the seatbelt and stood to grab my backpack, a staff ran over to help. The kid nearby giggled at me again. If karma existed, he should grow up to become my shorty. I murmured thank you as the staff handed me my backpack. As I strapped on my backpack, the other passengers lined up across the aisle to exit this plane. Not one of them offered me space to squeeze in, and in the end I waited every last one of them to pass before stepping out. A pair of flight attendants stood by the door. As I passed them, they bowed and wished me a nice day. The ear popping and landing might be rough, but the riding plane still made me feel like royalty. I offered the staff a wave as if I were a queen of parade. Rather than checking on the signs, I trailed the other passengers, since they too must be leaving for the airport. Excelia would have stood out with her robe and sparkles, but she was nowhere in sight. The staff must have let her exit first, being a frequent flyer and all. Still, knowing Excelia never waited for me made my shoulders slump a little. With so many business meetings to attend, she might have forgotten about our dinner already. Oh, that reminded me. I took up my phone and hit send to deliver that email over to Excelia. Since I only had a backpack on, the security guard let me through much faster than those with suitcases. Sucked to be one of those rich people with million things to carry. And this marks the end of the demo. Please enjoy the trailer ahead. And I hope to see you in the full game. And there's your Without Waiting 2 demo. I like that one a lot. Nice job once again, Inverted Mouse. I can't wait to get my hands the full game. But for now, I have only one thing to say. This game was awesome. Keep up the good work. But until next time, I'll see you all later. Have a great one. And bye-bye!